Today we're ranking the best of the best across every Mortal Kombat game. That's right, not only am I explaining the best characters in each game, I'm ranking them against each other to find the absolute best characters in Mortal Kombat history. Because a few days ago, I ranked the worst characters and you all loved that video, so let's do it again, but in reverse. Listing the best characters in every Mortal Kombat game. And real quick, for any goofball in the comments, I'm not referring to their power levels or how cool they look or the most popular characters. This video is just about the gameplay, as in the most overpowered characters. Because some characters in Mortal Kombat are truly incredible, and you're not going to believe your ears. So without further ado, let's begin. My tier list has 4 separate categories. The top row is Game Breakers, and that's a literal title. These characters quite literally broke the game, either with combo infinites or game-breaking glitches, or comboing off Combo Breaker. And yes, that's a real sentence you just heard. Comboing off Combo Breaker. It gets wild in this tier. Then below that is the Perfect tier, which once again has a literal name. These characters had no weaknesses, however they did not break the game. They were just really good, and for some Mortal Kombat games, that's all it took to be number 1. Then we have row 3, best at 1 point. These characters were top tier for a bit. At one point they were the best characters, but they just couldn't hold on to that title. Then finally we have top tier, which is funny because it's the bottom row, but these characters were still incredibly good, either second or third best in the game, and still broken in some way, so I wanted to talk about them for today's video. And alright, there you have it. Every row is laid out and explained, so now let's talk about the characters, and I want to do one character for each row. That's going to be my sequence. And the first character I want to talk about is Sonya Blade in the very first Mortal Kombat. That's right, and Sonya actually appears several times in this tier list, because she was great in several games, but in the first Mortal Kombat, she was the best character thanks to a game-breaking glitch. If Sonya caught you with her leg grab when you were in the middle of an attack, you would lose the ability to block as you got up. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Sonya could leg grab you, walk up, and then leg grab you again as your character was rising, and there was nothing you could do about it. Or in other words, she had an infinite loop. She could leg grab you over and over again until you died, which is already pretty unfair and broken, but believe it or not, there's crazier characters in this video. Next up, we have the Perfect row, and I want to talk about Tanya, because in her debut game, Mortal Kombat 4, Tanya was a beast. Her air fireball was amazing and gave her free jump-in combos. It was epic, but then her drill attack was almost game-breaking. It could be done multiple times in the same combo for high damage. It could anti-air if spaced correctly. It could go around certain fireballs, and then craziest of all, it could punish attacks that no other characters in the game could. Or in other words, these moves were normally safe, just not against Tanya. Her drill was that good that it would still punish you. So put simply, this one attack made Tanya crazy good. Next up is tier 3, and I want to talk about Kenshi. I've already made a full video about this guy in Mortal Kombat 9, but when he first dropped, Kenshi was hands down the best character. And it's because his zoning was absolutely ridiculous. You could not touch this man. He did great combo damage, and his attacks had ridiculous range and hitboxes. It was nearly impossible to avoid them. Like mentioned earlier, I have a full video on this guy already if you want to check it out. Next up in the bottom row, we have Noob Smoke with his throw infinite in Deception. Yeah, this game was pretty busted all around, as in several characters broke the game, but to be the best of the best, you had to be severely game breaking, and I'll mention that character soon. But right now we're talking about Noob Smoke, and if this man threw you, he just got an infinite, and you're seeing it on screen. I know it doesn't look like an infinite, but it is, because there was no way to avoid this. It was guaranteed every time. Which might have you thinking, how is Noob Smoke not the best character when one throw guaranteed the win? Well, that's just how absurd Deception was. Alright, back to the top row. I want to talk about Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat Trilogy. This character might be the most broken of all Mortal Kombat history, at least when compared to other characters in his game. Noob Saibot had incredible combos, really good special moves, fantastic pressure, and could remove your block ability. That's right, and it wasn't a glitch like Sonya. Instead, one of his special moves just removed your block ability when he comboed into it. In other words, it was intentional, and one of the reasons Noob Saibot is the best character in the game. However, real quick before moving on, the boss characters were also very overpowered in this game and banned at tournaments, just like Noob Saibot. I'm not going to put him on the tier list because it would take up too much space, and also boss characters are kind of their own thing, but since we are talking about the best characters, it's worth mentioning how the bosses in Mortal Kombat Trilogy were also very unfair. Next up, let's talk about Scorpion in Deadly Alliance, because you cannot craft a more perfect character. Low and overhead mix-ups, he's got that. Good combos, he's got that too. Fantastic movement, yep, he's got that. But tying it all together is his Hellfire, which is unblockable like in many Mortal Kombat games, but in Deadly Alliance, it forced you to eat his 50-50 because you were stuck in the I'm on fire animation. You couldn't do anything but block. So what that meant was Scorpion could do a combo, guarantee the Hellfire because it's unblockable, and then force the mix-up because you had no way to escape. And then he would just loop that until you died. He's the perfect character. But real quick, we gotta talk about Frost too, because she had an infinite in this game, which is always overpowered and literally game-breaking. However, even so, most people would agree that Scorpion was better than Frost, but still, she's literally a game-breaking character, so I'm putting her in that row. Then in row 3, we have Cyrax in Mortal Kombat 9. What's there to say about this character that you don't already know? His combos were crazy, as in 100% combos, or at least 80%, so without Combo Breaker you were screwed, and oopsie, turns out Cyrax can drain your meter, which means no Combo Breaker for you. Then on top of that, he had safe 50/50s and a command grab that guaranteed stuff too, and was really good. Just like with Kenshi, I've made a full video on Cyrax if you want to check it out. Because next up is Bo Rai Cho in Deadly Alliance. This man had infinites with his puke, which is gross and I hate it, but tier-wise, he was really good for this reason. And also in Deception, Bo Rai Cho was still really good, because when you have unblockables and infinites, you're gonna be a great character. I just hate that it's Bo Rai Cho because he's the farty puke character. So let's move on to Sector in Mortal Kombat Gold. He was actually a secret character that required a code to even play and was banned at tournaments because he's so absurdly good. Mainly due to his missiles. He could fire as many as he wanted and they stayed on screen for a while, just constantly chasing you. And as a result, you pretty much had to block the entire match until you died. Or you could try attacking Sector, but even if you hit him, the missiles don't go away, which means you take back shots until you die. So put simply, once Sector had his missiles on screen, he just won the match, which is why he was so banned, and honestly, he might be one of the most broken characters in all of Mortal Kombat history. He's just too good. Next up, we have Kabal in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and also Mortal Kombat 9. I'm talking about them both together because they're overpowered for the same reasons. In both of these games, Kabal was the best at keep away and rush down together. That's right, he had the best pressure up close and the best attacks from far away too. His instant air gas blast allows him to retreat while zoning you, or he can run in and just get constant pressure. In other words, Kabal is the best of both worlds. He can be the best offense or the best runaway character in the game whenever he wants to be. And this made him number 1 in Mortal Kombat 9 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Next up, we have Jackie Briggs in Mortal Kombat 11, possibly one of the least popular characters in the series, and yet she was number 1 for a good while in Mortal Kombat 11 because her offense was just really good. She had the ability to hop right above you instantly and fire straight down, which is really hard to deal with because no one in the game had a move that hit right above them, but it was also instant, so good luck interrupting her. And Jackie could just keep doing this after any block string, or if she hit you, it led to a full combo, so if you block it, it's her turn. If she hits you, it's her turn and a combo. Jackie was just really good. In fact, at one point, she was so good that everybody was playing the character, and I mean everybody at the tournament was playing the character. Next up, in row 4, we have Sonya Blade again in Mortal Kombat 9. She was so powerful in this game. Her armored wake up was safe on block and had infinite numbers of hits. And even if you dodged it, she recovered instantly. Or in other words, Sonya could just do her EX cartwheel whenever she wanted to. There was no reason not to do it, it was just that good. But then on top of that, she had military stance, which when cancelled into would make her plus even if you blocked her previous attack, and she could just keep looping this to constantly be plus and just keep having her turn. Then on top of that, she had great combos and other essential things that make characters great, which may have you wondering why she wasn't number 1 in the game. Well, that's because MK9 is crazy, where all the top tiers were literally broken, not just good. Next up, in the top row, we have Dairu in Deception, and one move is what made this character the best, literally one move. And I don't think any other character in this video can claim that. Dairu had the Tombstone, which was unblockable and covered the entire floor and was instant. You could not react to this thing. It was like 3 frames or something stupid like that. And after it hit you, Dairu got a full combo, and if you jumped too early to try to avoid the move, he could just do it when you landed because it's too fast. Your character wouldn't have time to jump again after landing before the Tombstone hit them. So I'm not joking when I tell you this one move made Dairu broken. It's all he needed. Next up is the Flash in Mortal Kombat vs. DC. He was incredibly quick, which makes sense, that's his character, but it meant his frame advantage was stupid unfair. It was always his turn and he had infinite, so once he touched you, he just won. Unless you had Combo Breaker, but that ran out pretty quick and then he would just touch you again and get an infinite and win the game. Next up, let's talk about Leatherface. When this boy first dropped, he was the best character in the game, but then even after all the nerfs, he remained good. Some people would argue that Leatherface is still the best character in MKX. He's got insane pressure, great combo damage, awesome awesome stances too, just all around a really good character. The only reason he's not in the perfect tier is because there's still some debate on which character was the best in Mortal Kombat X. And speaking of Mortal Kombat X, we have Mileena in the top tier category, which might be shocking to some because in other videos like this, I don't see people mentioning Mileena, but for a short period, she was the best character in the game. Everybody was playing her, and it's because her piercing variation had the best range and some really good combos. And once those combos finished, she was right in your face with great frame advantage, so just more mix-ups. Mileena in general was a great character in MKX, but the piercing variation just had better range thanks to her side stab, and nobody could get around it to approach her. It was just so good. She dominated the neutral. Alright, back to the top row with Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 3. This will be the first and last time he's seen in this video, because typically Sub-Zero's not a great character. Sometimes he's good, but he's almost never great. However, in Mortal Kombat 3, he could loop his freeze abilities in the same combo, that's right, which meant almost every time he touched you, you were guaranteed to lose the round because he would just keep refreezing you until you died. And when you combine that with Sub-Zero's existing kit, which had always been decent, you have a really good character. Next up, we have Alien in Mortal Kombat X. This character melted your health bar, and I'm being literal. He had several moves that would do damage to you over time, and he could keep stacking them on top of each other while also comboing you, which meant you died in less than 15 seconds. And I'm not joking, Alien might be the fastest character at killing you in these recent games. However, only in his acidic variation. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. It's the acidic variation that was top tier and number 1 in this game. Next up, let's talk about Cetrion, who took a while to become number 1 in Mortal Kombat 11, but eventually she got access to her tornado ability, which is all she really needs to be the best character. And if you think I'm joking, I'm not. This move is safe on block, it restands after combos, it's really good on hit to force mix-ups, it's impossible to jump over because it's so tall, and it beats other projectiles in the game. Yeah, it's a ridiculously good move. You can't flawless block it or use any other defensive tools to get around it either. It's just that good of a move, and it made Cetrion broken for a bit. Next up is Cobra in Deception. That's right, one of the least favorite characters of all Mortal Kombat, and yet he was top tier in his debut game. Cobra had a throw infinite, a overhead special move, a low projectile, high projectile, various launchers, style switch combos that are plus, a teleport punch that's safe on block and pretty fast, and you get the idea. Cobra had nearly everything. The only reason he wasn't number 1 is because Deception, like MK9, required you to break the game in order to be the best. Alright, back to the top row. Green Lantern could combo you off Combo Breaker. Yeah, that's right. If you hit him, he could Combo Breaker and then combo off that Combo Breaker. Or in other words, anytime you touched Green Lantern, he could Combo Breaker you and get a combo even though you hit him. And keep in mind, in this game, Combo Breakers are not based on meter. You start off with 3, which meant at any point during the match, when you hit Green Lantern, he could just combo break and then combo you, which is already game breaking, but then on top of that, Green Lantern had great frame data, good attacks in general, so yeah, he's fantastic. And you know what? I want to end this row now. There's only one more character, Scarlet in Mortal Kombat 9, before she got nerfed. When this character first dropped, some players discovered that she had a projectile infinite on block. That's right, she could force you to block and then just win the match through chip damage. Now thankfully, NetherRealm did nerf this pretty quickly, and now Scarlet needs meter if she wants to go for this block string. Although with that said, if she does it correctly, she can still take away over half your health on block alone, which is crazy. However, at least now it takes meter, right? Alright, next up is Tanya in Mortal Kombat X. That's right, she appears twice in this video. I've actually made a full video on Tanya because she changed the way NetherRealm tournaments work, because she was that overpowered. Ever since, when a new character drops in Mortal Kombat, you can't use them in the tournament until a short period. I think it's like 2 weeks or something like that. You can't play a new character in tournaments, and it's because of Tanya. She was that busted, and the developers realized they need time to test a character before they're in tournaments. Now, if you're wondering exactly why she's broken, Tanya had this teleport that let her attack or retreat whenever she wanted to, and the opponent could do nothing about it. Then on top of that, she had this dragon stance with this pole where she would jump above you and attack straight down, very similar to Jackie, and there was no way to counter this. She could just do it all the time for free. And honestly, there's way more stuff on top of that Tanya could do, but to keep things simple, there was no counter to Tanya. She was just perfect. She could get in and retreat whenever she wanted to, and all of her options were safe. She was ridiculous. And real quick, since I'm already in this row, let's talk about Scorpion in Armageddon, because he's broken for the same reasons I mentioned in Deadly Alliance. The only difference is that Dairu got nerfed. Fun fact, this video is so long, I had to stop the camera timer and reset because it won't let me go past 40 minutes. Next up is Jason in Mortal Kombat X. Just like Tanya, he was broken when he first dropped. His down one was insane, his combos were really good, and his command grab was broken. Everything about this guy was just too good, and honestly, it might be the most basic example of overpowered I can think of. His moves were just too good. Next up, we have Shinnok in Mortal Kombat X. When this game first dropped, Shinnok was just so cheap. He had this triple fireball from the ground that he could do every time, and if you blocked it, he would detonate to stay safe, and if he hit you, he would detonate for a full combo. So block or hit, he got what he wanted, but also he had this giant scythe that could pull you in at the end of a combo to restand you, and then he would blast you with his amulet, which was so plus on hit that he could keep attacking you or run in to throw you. You just had to block, similar to Scorpion in Deadly Alliance. Next up in the perfect tier, we have Mileena in Mortal Kombat 2. That's right, her debut game, and she was so good. Years ago, it was actually Perfect Legend who told me all about this character. She had a negative edge projectile that was really good. Her teleport kick could punish a lot of stuff on reaction. The opponent would go for a move and she'd just go, no, teleport kick. Then finally, her ball roll was ridiculous as well. It could combo, it could anti-air, it could get around many attacks. It was all around fantastic. And even if the opponent blocked it, punishing was difficult because the recovery animation on it was wonky and weird. Next up is Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 11. At one point, he was number 1, which is hilarious to say out loud because for a while he was considered low tier. However, in a later update, Johnny actually became really good, and his variation 3 was just stupid. Best keep away in the game, hands down. Nobody could challenge it. But then, even up close, he had Rising Star, which reset the neutral on block every single time. In other words, it pushed Johnny away to the exact range he wants to be at, to either play keep away or whiff punish, all that stuff, and he could do it whenever he wanted to. Yeah, it was stupid, and more importantly, it was boring. Johnny Cage in MK11 is one of the few best characters who was just not fun to watch. He was boring the entire time. But now we have the last character in top tier, Cassie Cage. She was never technically number 1, but she was always really good. Her whiff punishes were incredible. Her projectile was arguably the best in the game because she would get low to fire it to dodge other projectiles. And then up close, she had this dumb front handspring gunfire shot that made her safe on everything. So no risk and a decent reward and the best zoning in the game at the time. Alright, the last character for perfect category is Tremor. This man is so good in Mortal Kombat X that everybody has a pocket Tremor, and it's mainly his crystal variation, which gives him armor that can eat a hit for free, and the Tremor player can actually get hit on purpose to interrupt your strings or make moves punishable that would normally be safe on block, which is quite ridiculous. But on top of that, Tremor has great normals, he's got good combos and setups, some shenanigans built into. Alright, for the third tier, I'm gonna combine the last 3 characters, Fujin, Sonya, and Garrus. All 3 of these characters were number 1 at some point. For Sonya, it's because she had a 50-50 that could be hit confirm cancelled with her projectile, and honestly her projectile was just really good in general, and her crushing blows were great too. And Garrus also had great crushing blows, along with the best string in the game at the time, and just great special moves in general. He could counter zone anybody with his stupid sand trap. Then we have Fujin, who's just great at all distances. He could go under a lot of attacks, he had many safe strings that you could not do anything about, combined with his stupid but very cool looking Skywalker move where he just ran on the clouds above you that let him attack or run away whenever he wanted to, similar to Tanya in Mortal Kombat X. Alright, and now finally we're left with Mortal Kombat 1, which I saved for last because this tier list doesn't actually have their portraits, which means I've got to do this and add them in editing myself. In the game-breaking row, we have Homelander with his 3-way mix-up and crazy zoning and block infinites. Homelander was so broken, and everybody was playing him at one point during tournaments, so it became a meme. Then in the perfect category, we have Cyrax combined with Serena, who can guarantee combos off command grab and has bomb setups that guarantee the next attack also. In other words, Cyrax can combo you, then set up the bombs and force you to block the next mix-up, whether it's a throw, a low, or an overhead, and all 3 of them lead to the combo blender all over again. Then in the third tier, we have Johnny Cage, because for a whole year, possibly longer, Johnny Cage was the best character in this game, and nobody would argue that. It may have been a bit less than a year, but you get my point. For the entire big first part of Mortal Kombat 1, Johnny Cage was the best character, and it never changed. Even though NetherRealm nerfed him a lot, he stayed the best. He had the fastest mid in the game, a bunch of plus frames, and his shadow kick could be safe with cameo, so a free approach also, and his Chris parry was ridiculously good. Yeah, Johnny Cage was just busted. Alright everyone, we are done. That's the best characters in every single Mortal Kombat game ranked against each other. And oh my god, it took a while. Please leave a like down below for my suffering. This was ridiculous. I had no clue this video would take so long to make. I feel tortured. Not really, but man, it took a long time, so a like would be very nice, and a comment, subscribe if you're new, and finish the combo by ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.